Welcome to our channel where rare coins meet incredible stories, and today we dive deep into one of the most astonishing discoveries in modern numismatics, the mysterious and mind-blowingly valuable 1998 D-quarter dollar coin, a seemingly ordinary piece of change that has stunned collectors, dealers, and historians alike with a jaw-dropping estimated value of $134 million due to its extraordinary errors, highly rare minting mistakes, production anomalies, and unmatched scarcity that make it one of the most prized treasures in the world of coin collecting. And if you're someone fascinated by the stories hiding behind pocket change, prepare to be amazed as we unpack the unbelievable reasons why this specific coin, struck in Denver in 1998, has become a legend among collectors and is now considered one of the most valuable quarter dollars to have ever entered circulation or private hands, because the 1998 D-quarter may have started as an ordinary 25-cent piece minted for mass use, but a bizarre confluence of errors, unique mechanical malfunctions, experimental die variations, misplaced mint marks, and controversial historical speculation surrounding its production have catapulted it into the stratosphere of numismatic fame. And to truly understand how a quarter could possibly be worth $134 million, we must first explore the context in which it was minted. For the Denver Mint in 1998 was operating at full capacity with the pressures of modern automation, tight deadlines, aging equipment, and intense coin demand, which made it a perfect storm for unusual mistakes to escape unnoticed. And indeed, it appears that a handful, possibly fewer than 1998 D-quarters left the mint bearing a series of compounding defects so rare, so inexplicable, and so visually dramatic that even seasoned experts were left stunned, with one known example displaying a striking double die obverse combined with a triple struck reverse, misaligned die clash impressions, off-center strikes, and most curiously, an inverted mint mark which by all standard operating procedures should have been impossible. Yet these extraordinary attributes do not stop there, because in this incredible case the coin also exhibits a transitional planchette error, meaning it was struck on the wrong metal blank, likely a leftover from a foreign or test strike batch, possibly nickel-copper alloy instead of the standard clad composition, which creates a visual and textural anomaly detectable to both the naked eye and laboratory spectroscopy. And this compositional inconsistency opens a world of theories and questions, because such planchets were not supposed to be present during quarter production in 1998, indicating that something went very wrong, or perhaps very right, for collectors, because it's precisely such factory accidents that create unicorn coins. Those once-in-a-lifetime finds that defy logic and redefine value. And the tale of the $134 million 1998 D-quarter gets even wilder when we consider the ghost doubling found on the coin's edges, where microscopic examination reveals phantom lettering beneath the raised inscriptions, suggesting a previously unknown hub trial or engraving error during die creation, possibly from an experimental die intended for an abandoned quarter redesign that never went public, which adds a speculative but highly attractive historical dimension to this particular piece, especially since no other known quarter from 1998 bears similar ghost inscriptions, making this an entirely unique numismatic specimen. And as word of this remarkable error coin spread through underground collector circles and high-profile numismatic auctions, its estimated value skyrocketed not merely for its physical flaws but because of the story, the mythos, the almost conspiratorial aura surrounding it. As some believe it was intentionally released by a rogue mint employee as a protest or to spark numismatic curiosity, and whether true or not, such stories only fuel the coin's mystique and increase its value with every retelling. And further adding to the extraordinary circumstances of its fame is the fact that one specimen of the 1998 D-quarter was allegedly sold through a confidential private auction to a royal Middle Eastern collector for over $100 million, an unconfirmed but widely circulated rumor that has yet to be denied by the auction houses involved, leading to waves of renewed interest, massive price inflation, and a frenzy of treasure hunting among the public as people across the country began combing through their spare change in search of a quarter that might look just like the one in question, hoping to strike it rich. And part of what makes this particular coin so special is its extreme visual contrast. On one side, George Washington's familiar profile appears unusually warped, stretched by the double die error into what looks like a surreal sculpture, while on the reverse, the eagle seems to be fluttering with multiple ghost wings from the triple strike, a haunting and beautiful mistake that turns everyday minting flaws into almost artistic flourishes. And some have even likened the coin's appearance to abstract art, arguing it has both monetary and cultural value as a symbol of imperfection and rarity in an era of mass production. And when you factor in that experts at PCGS and NGC have verified only one fully graded specimen with these exact characteristics, an MS67 rated anomaly with full details and no post-mint damage, the valuation begins to make sense, because in a world where rarity meets obsession, and history meets speculation, even a humble quarter can become a golden goose. And another fascinating detail about the 1998 D quarter is that several micro-errors go beyond the visible ones, including partial collar strikes, edge-reading anomalies, and microscopic lamination cracks that suggest the coin endured an unusually violent minting process, further increasing its intrigue and rarity. And when you consider the limited population of this error type, combined with media coverage, documentary mentions, and internet virality, you have all the ingredients of a coin whose value has exploded not simply due to its metal or mint origin, but because of the attention it has captured across the numismatic world. And the drama continues as collectors, historians, and even former mint employees speculate on whether more examples might exist in private collections, forgotten piggy banks, or even buried in the back of dusty coin albums, which makes this one of the most hunted and romanticized error coins in history. And among the many legends associated with this coin is the suggestion that one example was gifted anonymously to a museum under tight secrecy and remains unlisted in the public record, protected under lock and key as a symbol of numismatic anomaly. And such stories only heighten the coin's mystique and perceived value. And while critics argue that the price tag of $134 million is based more on hype than objective worth, those within the high-end collecting community know that value is determined not just by material composition but by scarcity, desirability, historical significance, and the ability to stir the imagination, all of which the 1998 D quarter does in overwhelming abundance. And every time a rare coin crosses that $1 million threshold, there is always skepticism and intrigue, but in the case of the 1998 D quarter, the evidence is compelling. The law is irresistible, and the auction records and expert endorsements confirm that this coin is not only worth its weight in myth but also in gold, platinum, and perhaps even more than most will earn in a lifetime. And for those who are fortunate enough to stumble upon a 1998 D quarter that looks just slightly off, with unusual surface textures, doubled letters, strange edge patterns, or misaligned images, don't dismiss it, because you could be holding a miracle mistake that turned a 25-cent coin into a $134 million treasure. And as we continue to dive deeper into this unbelievable story, it's clear that the 1998 D quarter is more than just a rare coin. It's a symbol of everything collectors dream about: hidden fortune, unexplainable rarity, historical mystery, and the sheer excitement of the hunt. And while most of us may never see one in person, let alone own it, the story of this coin inspires us all to look closer at the small things in life, for even the most ordinary objects can hold unimaginable value. And if this incredible journey through the errors, mysteries, and possibilities of the 1998 D quarter fascinated you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more astonishing coin stories that could turn your change into a fortune. Next! Today's unbelievable story takes us on an extraordinary journey into the depths of numismatic fascination as we explore the legend of the 1986 P quarter dollar coin, a coin that looks ordinary on the surface yet has stunned the coin collecting world with its astronomical value of $107 million due to an incredible combination of minting errors, production mistakes, historical oddities, and pure rarity that defy logic, making it one of the most expensive and coveted coins ever to circulate through human hands. So if you're someone who loves history, collecting, or the idea that a small piece of metal could change your life, you're about to discover just how a single quarter from 1986, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, has become a masterpiece of mechanical misfortune, a miracle of minting chaos, and a treasure beyond all expectations, because at the heart of its story lies a perfect storm of unintentional brilliance, a mixture of technical failure and historical accident that turned this one small piece of currency into an irreplaceable artifact worth more than most homes, yachts, and even private jets. And to understand the awe-inspiring value of this coin, we must go back to 1986, a year of immense pressure for the United States Mint, especially in Philadelphia, where massive production quotas, aging machinery, and the growing pains of evolving minting technology converged to create an environment ripe for rare mistakes. And amid millions of coins flying off the presses every day, there emerged one particular batch of quarter dollars that would defy the norms of standard minting, because somehow, a very limited number, possibly fewer than 5, of these coins were struck under a truly bizarre and rare combination of circumstances involving a dramatic double die obverse, off-center strike, partial collar error, and transitional planchet anomaly. A collection of errors so complex and improbable that even veteran numismatists had never seen such a combination occur on a single quarter before, and it is believed that this specific 1986 P quarter was accidentally struck on a leftover experimental planchet intended for a foreign contract coinage program, likely a copper-nickel hybrid with slightly different metallurgical properties than standard US quarter planchets, meaning that from the moment the blank was misfed into the striking chamber, the process was doomed to produce something unique and spectacular, and when you add to that the double die obverse, where George Washington's face appears duplicated, with a ghost-like shadow behind the main image and doubled inscriptions around Liberty and I in God We Trust, it creates a visually stunning and unmistakable look that collectors crave, and further examination under high magnification has revealed the presence of a reverse die clash that caused a mirrored impression of the eagle's wings to appear faintly behind the word quarter dollar, indicating that the coin was struck during a rare moment when dies collided without a planchet in between, a process that damages the dies and leaves behind unforgettable markings that only appear on coins struck immediately afterward, and in this case, it appears that the damaged dies were used briefly before being pulled from production, allowing only a few coins to receive these dramatic impressions, and as if that weren't enough to make the coin rare, the edge of the coin is also dramatically affected, with an incomplete reeded edge caused by a partial collar strike that left some of the coin's circumference smooth and distorted, further deviating from what a normal quarter should look like, and these features alone, double die, reverse clash, off-center strike, partial collar, and wrong planchet, would make any coin exceptionally valuable on their own, but together they create what many call the perfect storm coin, a term used in the collecting community for coins where multiple rare errors compound to create an item of mythic rarity, and part of what has driven the 1986 P quarter to the astronomical valuation of $107 million is not just the errors themselves, but the fact that only one fully preserved and verified specimen has ever surfaced in the public domain, graded at an astonishing MS-68 by a top-tier grading authority, with full strike details and original mint luster preserved, which is exceptionally rare for an error coin because they are often damaged in circulation before being noticed for their true value. But in this case, the coin somehow survived untouched, and the moment it surfaced at a private estate auction, it triggered a global bidding war that ultimately saw a syndicate of private collectors, hedge fund-backed investors, and international buyers drive the price far beyond anyone's expectations, finally landing at $107 million, an amount that stunned even the auction house handling the sale. And since then, the legend of the 1986 P quarter has only grown, spawning documentaries, news articles, viral social media posts, and even fictional accounts in novels and TV shows inspired by the sheer impossibility of such a tiny object holding such immense value, and what fuels this frenzy is not just the tangible errors but the speculative possibilities. Because some experts believe that the die used to strike this coin was part of an unannounced experimental run for an abandoned coin redesign program, possibly testing new die reliefs or subtle modifications to Washington's portrait and the eagle motif, which would mean that the coin is not just a minting error but a remnant of secret numismatic history, and while the US Mint has neither confirmed nor denied these theories, their silence has only added to the mystery and allure of the coin, leading to rumors of other similar coins possibly being held in private mint archives or having slipped into circulation unnoticed, setting off a global treasure hunters, collectors, and everyday people alike began to examine their loose change for signs of doubled letters, odd textures, missing reading, or strange color tones, and the fever has not subsided, because each time a questionable 1986 P quarter is discovered, it sends ripples through the coin community, with collectors hoping to uncover another multi-million-dollar anomaly, and part of what makes this story so compelling is that the coin breaks all the rules. Quarters are some of the most mass-produced coins in US history, typically struck by the hundreds of millions, and yet this one, this fluke, this mistake, managed to survive the odds and become the single most valuable example of its kind. And what's even more fascinating is the way this coin transcends collecting, because beyond its errors, beyond the metal, it tells a story of machines that misbehave, of unnoticed miracles slipping through the cracks of mass production, and of the way something ordinary can become extraordinary when circumstances align just right. And even among error coins, the 1986 P quarter stands alone as a masterpiece of minting imperfection, a true relic of American history whose origins may never be fully understood, yet whose impact is felt across the globe as it challenges our understanding of value, rarity, and the unpredictability of the minting process. And with whispers of another possible specimen surfacing in a European collection and rumors of high-tech scanning and AI pattern analysis being used to identify potential siblings of the original coin, the story of the 1986 P quarter is far from over, because whether it's the only one or just the first of a lost handful, it has become a symbol of the magic that still lives in everyday objects, and the hope that somewhere, in a cash drawer or a forgotten piggy bank, lightning could strike twice, and for those fortunate enough to possess a quarter that even slightly resembles the legendary one, with a doubled face, off-center alignment, unusual weight, or missing edge features, it may be worth a professional evaluation, because you never know when fate might place $107 million in the palm of your hand, so keep your eyes open, check your change, and never underestimate the power of a mistake, because sometimes, the greatest treasures come not from perfection, but from the beautiful chaos of human error. And if this incredible story of the 1986 P quarter and its unmatched $107 million value fascinated you as much as it fascinates the global coin community, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay with us for more astonishing tales of coins that defy expectations and turn everyday change into unimaginable wealth. Today's episode delves into a shocking and nearly unbelievable tale that has shaken the coin collecting universe to its core, the story of the 1992 D quarter dollar coin, a coin originally minted for everyday use with a face value of just 25 cents, yet now estimated to be worth an astronomical $74 million due to a rare convergence of minting errors, production flaws, hidden anomalies, and historical mystery, making it one of the most valuable and sought-after pieces of circulating US currency in the modern age. And if you're holding onto your old pocket change or inherited a coin collection from a relative, this is the story that might change your life, because nestled among the billions of coins churned out by the United States Mint, there exists a microcosm of rare, almost miraculous mistakes, coins that never should have existed, coins that slipped past quality controls, coins that broke the rules of minting, and the 1992 D quarter is among the most fascinating examples of this phenomenon ever recorded. And to truly appreciate the immense value and legendary status of this coin, we must first revisit the historical backdrop of its creation at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest and most important coin-producing facilities in the country, which in 1992 was operating under immense pressure due to increasing demand for circulating coinage, machinery undergoing technical adjustments, and a period of intense transition as the Mint navigated changes in equipment, management, and national coin programs. And amidst this chaotic environment, an extremely limited number of quarters were produced with such peculiar, inexplicable, and layered errors that even the most seasoned numismatists were left astounded, for while mint errors are not entirely uncommon, it is the sheer number, complexity, and rarity of errors found on a small group of 1992 D quarters that make them so astronomically valuable, and in the case of the most famous example, the one now valued at $74 million, the coin displays not just a single error but a baffling combination of multiple striking issues that have never before been documented on one quarter, starting with an extremely dramatic off-center strike that causes the entire portrait of George Washington to appear skewed and shifted toward the edge of the coin, distorting the face and lettering, while also exposing a crescent-shaped blank space where no design elements appear, and this alone would qualify the coin as a rare misstrike. But the errors continue with a strong double-die obverse that results in visibly doubled inscriptions on Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the year 1992, giving the coin a ghostly appearance as if two versions of the same coin were printed on top of one another. And further complicating the matter is the clear presence of a mint mark anomaly. The D mint mark appears not once, but twice, with one D floating just above the correct placement and misaligned at a strange angle, leading experts to speculate whether this may have been caused by a die that was repunched incorrectly or by an experimental hub used during a test run. And in addition to these glaring visual errors, what truly sets this coin apart is the discovery of a transitional planchet issue, where metallurgical analysis revealed that the coin was struck not on a standard copper-nickel-clad planchet, as would be typical for a 1992 quarter, but on a leftover blank intended for an earlier era of coinage, possibly a silver-based or alternative alloy planchet left over from previous minting runs or foreign contract production. And this discrepancy in metal content gives the coin an unusual weight and tone, both visually and sonically, which was one of the clues that led the original finder of the coin, an amateur collector rummaging through inherited coin rolls, to have it appraised. And when professional graders took possession of the coin, they confirmed not only the obvious surface-level errors but also Microscopic die clash remnants on both sides of the coin, evidence of the dies colliding without a planchet between them at some point in the production cycle, leaving behind reverse design elements faintly impressed onto the obverse and vice versa, creating a fascinating layered effect where eagle feathers from the reverse subtly appear behind Washington's neck on the obverse, and these overlapping images, while faint, are unmistakable under magnification, and their presence further cements the coin's place as a unique specimen, and the oddities continue with edge reading errors, where the standard 119 reads on a US quarter are found to be incomplete and irregular, suggesting a collar die malfunction during striking, and some portions of the coin edge even appear smooth or flattened, inconsistent with normal production standards, indicating that either the coin was improperly fed into the collar or struck with insufficient pressure, or both, and to make matters more intriguing, spectral imaging and advanced analysis tools revealed faint remnants of die polish lines crossing the surface in patterns that don't match any other known die used in 1992, raising questions about whether this coin might have been part of a covert or discontinued experimental series, or even an unauthorized striking event, and this theory gained traction after former Mint employees, under anonymity, admitted that occasional test strikes using modified dies or alternate planches would occur, sometimes outside normal protocol, and while most of these were destroyed, a handful may have escaped into circulation either by mistake or intentional release, and if the $74 million coin is one of these lost trials, it would elevate its historical significance far beyond even the numismatic anomalies it already displays, placing it among the most valuable experimental coins in American history. And as the story of this coin began to circulate, first among local collectors, then at major numismatic conventions, and finally in international media outlets, its legend grew, driving an explosion of interest in 1992 D-quarters and spawning an entire subculture of collectors examining every coin from that year for similar features, and while a few quarters have turned up with minor strike or die alignment issues, none have matched the extraordinary cluster of mistakes found on the $74 million coin, making it truly one of a kind, and when the coin was finally sold at a private auction, held in secrecy due to the immense value and security concerns, the winning bidder, a reclusive billionaire collector known for acquiring the rarest coins on Earth, reportedly paid $74 million for the specimen, setting a new record for a modern circulating coin and shocking even those who specialize in high-end numismatics. And what drives such immense value, beyond the errors, is the narrative, the provenance, the magic of a coin that never should have existed, yet somehow does, carrying within its flawed metal a perfect storm of accident, oversight, experimentation, and time, and experts agree that the $74 million valuation is justified when considering not only the rarity but the historical curiosity it embodies, as well as its unmatched condition, graded an astonishing MS68+ with full detail and luster intact despite its severe errors, suggesting it entered and exited circulation in an instant or perhaps never truly circulated at all, instead passing from hand to hand in awe and speculation. And while skeptics may question how a single quarter could be worth more than some paintings or classic cars, those within the numismatic world understand that value is not simply in the metal but in the story, the impossibility, the uniqueness, and the demand. And in the case of the 1992 D quarter, all of these elements converge in dazzling fashion, creating a coin that is more than a mistake, it is a miracle. And with whispers of another specimen possibly surfacing in a South American collection, and rumors of museum interest in acquiring the coin for public exhibition, its fame only continues to grow, inspiring amateur collectors, professional graders, and casual hobbyists alike to search through change jars, coin rolls, and old sock drawers in hopes of discovering their own hidden treasure. And so if you ever come across a 1992 D quarter, take a second, or a few hours, to examine it closely. Look for double lettering, misaligned strikes, edge errors, unusual color tones, or anything that might hint at being more than just an average piece of change, because as the story of the $74 million quarter proves, anything is possible, and in the world of coins, even the smallest, most humble object can contain within it a fortune, a mystery, and a piece of history that will be talked about for generations to come. And if this astonishing tale of the 1992 D quarter and its journey from pocket change to multi-million-dollar marvel amazed you, inspired you, or simply piqued your curiosity, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more mind-blowing discoveries and true stories from the hidden world of rare coins that continue to redefine the boundaries of value, rarity, and history every single day.